Hello, bonjour! Today I'm painting this cat's eye with alcohol markers and I'm bringing you along with me in the process. If you ever have trouble with alcohol markers, I will give you some tips so you can achieve this kind of painting. And this is actually a bonus lesson for my pet portrait party, so if you want to know more, stay to the end. My first tip is that you select your colors before beginning to actually paint. I will say paint even if it's alcohol markers. I don't know if it's paint or draw. Well, never mind. Because if you don't select your colors before beginning, you will spend time rummaging through your alcohol markers, and as I have quite a bit, it takes a long time, and meanwhile your alcohol is drying on your papers. So make a first selection. You will lack a color or two during the process, but I'm pretty sure it will save you time. My second tip is to protect your page behind, because it will bleed through unless you are using a specific paper, but I'm using a regular sketchbook. So I know it will bleed through the paper and I don't want it to transfer to the next page after. So I'm using a plastic sheet to protect my pages. My third tip is that you erase your drawing before beginning to paint, because your lines will be visible through the transparent alcohol markers. And especially here, the colors are very light. So if I don't do that before painting, I will have my lines visible and I don't want that. Sometimes I do, but this time I don't want it. Tip number 4 is to begin with the darker colors. This will set the value for everything. And especially here, we have very specific areas that are very dark, even black, which is not a color I use a lot, but here I want to begin with the pupil and the makeup around the eye of the cat, and also the nostrils in brown. And then I can begin with the eye, because this is the star of the show, and I think it's easier to begin with it. Tip number 5 is to soak your paper with a lot of alcohol if you want to blend. Here I am using a very light blue as the first layer in the iris, and I am really pushing a lot of alcohol inside of the paper so I can go on top with a darker color and come back with a lighter color and blend everything. And this is all building up layers, and you can tell this is the part where I have used a ton of ink, because this is where it has bled the most. For now, I will leave the eye and I will move to the fur. So this is tip number 6, to make fur with alcohol markers. You have to make flickering movements with your brush tip. And I have markers with a chisel tip and a brush tip. And I will use the chisel tip to make large areas and the brush tip to make hair, kind of hair, with flickering movements. And this is all going back and forth with light, medium and dark colors. Make a first layer with a chisel tip with a light color, and then go on top with a medium value on top of it with the brush tip, and go back and forth, add more and more and more until you are happy with the results. Tip number 7, you can blend colors. You can create new colors with alcohol markers if you don't like the exact color in your stash, because I don't have 300 colors. I am layering different shades of beige, apricot, brownish, until I am satisfied with the color of the nose. The first layer was a bit too strong for me. Tip number 8, I think it's number 8. You can use colored pencils on top of alcohol markers to add fine details, especially fur and loose hair and whiskers. I think that colored pencils are just perfect for that, because you can get the exact color you want. Just make sure you sharpen them well before doing that, especially whiskers, and go with a bold movement. Don't hesitate. Don't shake. Just go for it until you get something energetic, like a cat's whiskers. And last but not least, you can add, and that's tip number 9, you can add white acrylic marker on top for highlights. Here I have preserved the big highlight in the iris, but I want to add some dots of light, and for this a white acrylic marker is just fine. And that's it, the cat is finished. I love how this turned out. The layering, the blending, the details, it's so fun to watch it come to life. If you enjoyed this, you will love my pet portrait party, and this is a bonus lesson that I just added to the other 31 lessons. So if you have already enrolled in the course, you can go there and watch the lesson. It's already there available. And if you have not enrolled yet, you know what you have to do. You have the link in description under the video. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time. Au revoir. And before you leave, YouTube thinks this video is good for you.